Ria Verma, a 22-year-old orphan, lived a simple life in an ashram, dedicating her days to helping street children. She found joy in small acts of kindness, never imagining that one rainy night her compassion would change everything. As the storm raged, she saw a figure lying on the road, injured and alone. It was an old man, a victim of a hit-and-run. Without a second thought, Ria rushed to his side. She didn't know who he was or what had happened. She only knew he needed help. This single act of humanity set in motion a chain of events that would challenge everything she thought she knew about life, family, and forgiveness. She managed to get the unconscious man, Vijay Singh, to a hospital. His condition was critical. He had lost a lot of blood and needed an urgent transfusion. Ria didn't hesitate. She was a match, and she gave her blood to save this stranger's life. It was only later, while he was recovering, that she learned his identity. He was Vijay Singh, a wealthy and powerful industrialist, a name she knew all too well. He was the very man whose business expansion had led to the demolition of her beloved childhood orphanage years ago. A wave of old pain washed over her, but Ria pushed it aside. She hadn't saved a rich man or an enemy. She had saved a human being. Her conscience was clear. Her act was one of pure, unconditional humanity. When Vijay Singh finally woke up, he was deeply moved by the story of his rescue. He learned that a poor orphan girl had not only brought him to safety, but had also given her own blood to save him. Life in the grand mansion was a stark contrast to Ria's simple existence. Yet, she remained unchanged. She went about her days with humility and a quiet grace, her kindness slowly starting to melt the cold atmosphere of the house. She spoke to the staff with respect, helped in the kitchen, and spent time with Vijay, listening to his stories. Her gentle presence was like a ray of sunshine in the formal, lonely household. Vijay began to see her as a daughter, but Mina's jealousy only grew. She watched Ria's every move, convinced she was putting on an act, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal her true, greedy intentions. Meena couldn't accept that someone could be so genuinely good. Despite her best efforts to find fault, Meena started noticing things that didn't fit her narrative. She saw Ria quietly crying in the garden after Vijay affectionately called her daughter. The word, meant as a term of endearment, was a painful reminder to Ria of the family she never had. For the first time, Meena saw a flicker of genuine pain, a vulnerability that couldn't be faked. Vijay, oblivious to the silent drama, continued to shower Ria with affection, telling her she had brought life back into his home. But for Ria, the emotional turmoil was growing. She was caught between the gratitude of a man who had unknowingly caused her past pain and the suspicion of his daughter. One day, driven by her lingering distrust, Meena decided to dig into her father's past dealings. She went through old files related to the land where Ria's orphanage once stood. What she found shocked her to the core. She discovered documents, letters, and contracts that proved her father had been deceived by his business partner. Vijay Singh had been led to believe the land was empty and that no one would be displaced. He was not the monster Ria thought he was. Overwhelmed with guilt, Meena ran to her father, the dusty files in her hand, tears streaming down her face. She apologized for ever doubting him and for her cruelty towards Ria. The truth had finally come to light, clearing years of misunderstanding. Just as the family was processing this revelation, tragedy struck again. The emotional stress was too much for Vijay, and he collapsed from a severe heart attack. He was rushed to the hospital, his life hanging by a thread. Once again, he needed an immediate blood transfusion to survive the emergency surgery, and once again, Ria was there. Without a moment's hesitation, she offered her blood a second time. As she lay in the hospital bed, giving her blood to save the man who was now like a father to her, Meena watched in awe. In that moment, all her suspicion and jealousy washed away, replaced by overwhelming gratitude and shame. She realized Ria's heart was purer than she could have ever imagined. When Ria woke up, Meena was by her side, holding her hand. "Thank you," Meena whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Thank you, ... Sister Vijay Singh recovered, his life saved twice by the same selfless girl." Lying in his hospital bed, he reflected on his life. He had built an empire, amassed a fortune, but he had nearly lost his life. He realized that all his money couldn't buy what Ria had given him so freely: compassion, humanity, and life itself. He understood that his greatest treasure was not in his bank accounts, but in the kindness he had received. As soon as he was strong enough, he called his lawyer. He rewrote his will, leaving half of his entire fortune not to his daughter, but to Ria. He explained that Meena already had enough, but Ria deserved it for teaching him the true meaning of being human. Vijay didn't just give Ria money, he gave her a purpose. He reopened his charitable foundation, the Jevin Mitra Trust, and put Ria in charge. At a grand inauguration ceremony, surrounded by friends, family, and the press, Vijay made a speech. With Ria and Meena by his side, he looked at the crowd and said, "Everyone knows Ria as an orphan. But today, I want to tell you all, she is not an orphan. She is the one who gave our family a new life. She didn't just save my body, she saved our souls. She made us human again." The applause was thunderous, but for Ria, Meena, and Vijay, it was a quiet moment of a family finally made whole. In the end, this story teaches us a profound lesson. True wealth isn't measured in money or possessions, but in the richness of our hearts. It is found in empathy, in the courage to help a stranger, and in the grace to forgive. Ria's journey shows that humanity is the ultimate force, capable of bridging any gap, healing any wound, and creating a family not by blood, but by love. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. See you next time. Have you ever wondered if a single act of kindness could change your entire life? This is the story of Ria Verma, a 22-year-old girl who grew up in an orphanage. Her world was small, revolving around the Jeevan Mitra ashram and the street children she cared for. One dark and stormy night, while walking home, she found an old man lying injured on the road, the victim of a hit and run. With no one else around, Ria knew she had to act fast. She didn't know who he was, only that a life was in her hands. She rushed the old man, Vijay Singh, to the hospital. His condition was critical and he needed an urgent blood transfusion. Without a second thought, Ria, who shared his blood type, donated her own. It was only later that a shocking truth came to light. Vijay Singh was the very same wealthy industrialist whose business expansion had led to the demolition of her beloved orphanage years ago. A wave of old pain washed over her, but looking at the frail man fighting for his life, Ria chose compassion over resentment. Humanity, she believed, was greater than any personal grievance. As Vijay recovered, he was deeply moved by the selfless act of the young woman who had saved him, especially after learning she was from the orphanage he had displaced. Filled with gratitude and a hint of guilt, he invited Ria to his lavish mansion to recover. But his welcome wasn't shared by everyone. His daughter, Meena, a sharp and modern woman, viewed Ria with suspicion. She saw a poor girl from the streets and couldn't understand her father's sudden attachment. Meena's coldness made the grand house feel like a palace of ice. Despite the chilly reception from Meena, Ria's gentle and humble nature began to melt the frosty atmosphere of the mansion. She treated everyone, from the staff to Vijay himself, with unwavering kindness. She never asked for anything, her only desire being to see Vijay fully recover. Meena watched from a distance, her suspicion warring with a reluctant admiration for Ria's sincerity. Vijay, on the other hand, started seeing Ria as the daughter he never had, showering her with affection. But for Ria, the word daughter was a painful reminder of the family she never knew. A wound that even a billionaire's kindness couldn't heal. One day, while searching for some old files, Meena stumbled upon a dusty folder. Inside were documents that turned her world upside down. They revealed that her father Vijay had been deceived by his business partner. He was never directly responsible for the orphanage's destruction. He rewrote his will, leaving half of his fortune not to his daughter, but to Ria, to continue her work of helping others. At the inauguration ceremony, with Ria and Meena by his side, he announced to the world, "This girl is not an orphan." Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if this story touched your heart.